massage, so that's injuries, people who need to loosen up a little bit, all the way to relaxation. I also do infant massage, which is also nice with the Arbonne products because they're so gentle, and they have the baby line that we can incorporate as well. So it's been great. I love Arbonne. I've changed my whole house into Arbonne and now my practice.
Thanks, Lee. So I'll tell you a few stories with my Arbonne success. The first one was psoriasis. I had a lady, she's in her 60s. She's had psoriasis for probably 30 years. And it's something that she loves to cover up. So it's always long sleeves, it's always long pants. It's very uncomfortable for her. She's overweight, so it's in the creases and the folds of her body and things like that. So it's very, very uncomfortable for her. And so we started talking about psoriasis one day, and I just asked her, Rita, what are you doing for it, and is it working? And she says, well, whatever I use, whatever the dermatologist gives me, it never changes anything, and it's really not making me any more comfortable. Would you be interested in something different? So I actually got her using the Intelligence line, and Rita called me at home on a Sunday in tears. And she said, I just need to thank you for bringing this into my life. She said, it has changed my whole outlook on my life, because she's kind of a depressive person. And she said, I don't have the pain anymore. I don't have it in the folds anymore. I don't have to wear the long sleeves anymore. And she actually started to see a change within about a week of using it. Obviously, it wasn't gone, but enough of a change that she was very, very excited about it. I had another young lady come in just before Christmas. She's in her 20s, and she had psoriasis all on her nails here and on the soles of her feet. Those were the two places that she got it. And psoriasis is a very stress-driven disorder and could be basically all stress. So this is a pretty interesting story. So she got the psoriasis 2 years prior when she married her husband. And she said when she was walking down the aisle, she knew she shouldn't have married him. And about maybe 2 months after she married him, she started getting the psoriasis on her hands. When I met her 2 years later, there was hardly any nail to speak of on any hand, black. They were very, very black, black streaks. All the skin was eroded all around the nails. And the bottom of her feet were so red and cracked and bleeding and scabbed, and probably the worst thing I've ever seen. So I don't know how she was even walking or doing anything with her hands. And she's a microbiologist, so she has her hands and stuff all day long and with latex gloves on. So the dermatologist information that she received and the lotions she was receiving wasn't changing this either for 2 years. I give her Arbonne, and again, she calls me within about a week and she says, what did you give me? And I said, it's Arbonne. It's just pure, safe, and beneficial skincare, and went into the whole realm of why it's different. And I saw her at Christmas, so this was probably November, maybe right before Thanksgiving. I saw her over the Christmas break, and her nails started growing back. The black was gone, but the nails weren't fully there yet. By New Year's Eve, she had nail polish on. Oh, and she hadn't worn nail polish in 2 years. Last month, I saw her, and she showed me her feet, and they are as soft as a baby's bottom. Aww. And she just can't believe it. And this has been with Arbonne. And the interesting thing is, she's in the middle of getting a divorce from and she stopped using Arbonne products to give it a test if it really changed her psoriasis. I'd almost venture to say she doesn't have psoriasis, because she hasn't used Arbonne now for about 2 months, and nothing has come back. She's still wearing the nail polish, and she is still in and out of water all the time at work. So, great success story. Another patient of mine, a young girl, she's 12, and we know how impressionable 12-year-olds are, and she had some skin condition on her hands that she was getting ointment from her dermatologist for years and years, probably 3 or 4 years, since she was 9. And because it's on her hands, and she, kids don't like anything different, she would always do this. Even when she was in my office being treated, this is how I would always see her. I would never see her hands. So her mom talked to me about it, and I got her the Intelligence line again, and we just started with the skin conditioning oil and the hand cream. this went on for about 3-4 months. She just saw her dermatologist for a follow-up. The dermatologist was floored. What are you using that her condition is gone? So now this child will not go without Arbonne. And her mother said she just pours it on everywhere, the hand cream, everywhere, all over. So now the mother is getting the lotion instead, so she's not using all the hand cream everywhere. Recently, we've had quite a few people enjoy the fizz tabs. They don't want anything synthetic. They want something that's going to give them an energy boost, but also suppress the appetite, and trying to get away from coffee. So now we're starting to use the fizz tabs as well to try and get people off the coffee. So there's just a couple really good success stories. Trying to think if there's any others.
Scalp, the psoriasis in the scalp.
Oh yeah, the same girl with the hands and the feet, the young one, the 28-year-old, she had it all through her scalp too, very itchy, and it's clear now. And so her hair has come back to a normal look and feel. Yeah.
Can you talk about what makes Arbonne different from other products in terms of pH correct, not tested on animals, the mineral oil? Can you just touch on that a little bit?
Catherine.
I love hearing it from you because I learned
Okay,
something
the
every
biggest
time.
thing I think that changes is psoriasis and the eczema. Oh, I do have a couple more stories. Mark's mom, yeah, what about
Eczema?
girl from my BNI group?
Oh,
Okay,
eczema.
remind me. Tell me about eczema, please.
We've got a lot of
Okay,
eczema stories.
let me tell you about eczema so I don't forget. My mother-in-law has had eczema for probably 30 some odd years on her hands, and she also had a dry patch on her elbow that has been there also for about the same amount of time. So I introduced her to the RE9 line and the Intelligence line. We had to mix a little bit with eczema because eczema is so stress-driven as well, and it cycles much more than psoriasis does. So with Mark's mom, I started her off on the RE9 serum and lotion, and she would put that the serum on her hands and then the lotion, and the same thing on her elbow. The dry patch that was probably 10 inches deep, when she had it, fell off in about 3 days.
Oh my God.
So she came to my house and she did one of these at me, and the patch was gone, because I've always noticed this patch on her forever. And it's not that she leans on it, it's just, it's been there. It's probably been, again, probably a nervous thing or a stress-driven thing, that's the reason that it was there. So that fell off. With the eczema, we have to cycle between RE9 and the Intelligence line.
Even for a kid. This is for, I'm
Oh,
thinking
for a
for my
child?
2-year-old, yeah.
Well, with the child, I would probably start with the baby line, but sometimes it's not strong enough. So you may have to go to the Intelligence, and Catherine has a great story about that with her own child who's sitting behind you there. So I would start with the baby line because it's the least invasive, if you want to use that word. It's like it's so gentle, and there's less herbs in there and things like that.
My biggest concern is there's allergens in the baby line.